Hello. Oh my gosh, pardon me. That was probably the worst introduction in world YouTube history. If I could speak, I'd be dangerous. I think I do actually have chronic bronchitis, by the way. Not chronic. I think I have bronchitis. I had a chest infection earlier in the week. It just hasn't gone away. Anyway, I'm not here to complain. I am here because I realized somehow, uh, probably because someone let me know, but we're not going to talk about that, that it is Valentine's Day, and I should probably do a thematic stream. And I just realized, well, this game has the perfect team up for that. So let's go. I may have been molding earlier. I'm going to give myself even more cause to mold. I don't like Valentine's Day. I think it's a stupid holiday, but I don't know. Hopefully you do, and you don't despise my cynicism. Well, maybe this is a decent place to come if you're bitter and single. I'm not sure if I am. You'd have to ask someone else. I guess it depends on her mood. Anyway, single or not, I'm usually bitter.
Let the games begin.
So here we are. We have the double day. You know what? We want to hear the little voiceover, right? Don't we? Hold on. Get out of here. Let me just get place, and then where is? So we got the and let's put the good skins on. Let's put like yeah, Phoenix is good. What do we got here? We got the AOA is so terrible. We got the classic. Let's go with old school. Let's go with old school Rogue. Gambit. I think this one, yeah, got to have a little bit of pink in there. It's not, properly Gambit. Now, this is a hard start without using save data. So this is the most difficult thing in this game that you can do playing as a team, because you will start with no gear, and gear is extremely freaking important. You will essentially be playing as if you have played through the game, but without any bonus skills, without any bonus points, without any bought skill points, none of that. So you can see how bare bones these builds are, despite the fact that these characters are level 45. What you will have is a crap ton of stat points, and you're also going to find that stat points are not that important on their own. However, let's have a quick look at these builds. Now, I was going to do a melee build as Jean, which would have been the way to do this. It would be the strong option. I'm still very tempted to change it, let me tell you. You know what? Why am I... Why do we do the things that we do to each other? You know? Why do we? Why do we do the things that we do to ourselves, which are often so much worse? Anyway, to make sure that I do suffer at least a little bit, no matter how good these builds are, I have gone with the very, very, very suboptimal build on Jean. It's still good from a team perspective, because this essentially means we kind of have unlimited EP. This will greatly reduce the damage of enemies. It's a really nice debuff. And then this is just like constant damage chip. She can res people if they go down. And she has a really strong kind of CC panic button ult. Though, to be honest, maybe take the points out of that. I don't know. Anyway, but she's not going to have damage. And we kind of just talked about how important damage is. Cyclops will have some damage. Not bad damage, actually. What he's going to need is crap ton of energy. Well, good thing his wife has him sorted there. This is where team comp starts to come into its own, and this sort of stuff really starts to matter. Because we're on a team, we are actually getting sub and shout. We're doing the normal torpedo strike build on Rogue. I've gone for Reflective Aura in case Rogue has to tank. If I feel like, I have to go up front with Rogue and not die, we go with Reflective Aura. Just so we have that team utility of being able to say, okay, well, I'll put her up front. She can sponge all this damage if I'm really worried. There's only a few places in the game where that might be the case. But yeah, it's mainly because there's kind of nowhere else to put the points. I mean, this is the only damage skill she needs. I mean, I guess Critical Strike, you could finish masking that. But then again, if you weren't going to get this, then... Anyway, we're not going to talk about this much. And Gambit, we've gone for the Economy Staff Assault build because this is kind of your everything... Whoops. So this is kind of an everything attack. It's sort of AoE, it's single target, it hits multiple times, it goes through combo shields. It's just good. It kind of... It doesn't do anything for... It's a jack of all trades, master of none. Very, very appropriate expression for Gambit. I got the looting ability just because why not? We might have a use for it at some point. And this is the big one. This is going to give a massive, tremendous boost of damage to Rogue. It's also going to buff his Staff Assault attack. And then he gets Evade, just, why not? I've really skimped on Mutant Master with everyone because we have Jean, because we have her Psionic Vortex. I probably spent too much time talking about that, but regardless, let's get in there and let's see how this goes. I haven't done a gearless hard start in a long time. I remember them being like pretty, generally pretty doable. If you just use your buffs, build into your team buffs. Team buffs in this game are so strong.
Yes.
Someone's pouty. He's giving them the blue steel. Energy, please. String tokens. The fact that you only start with 4 energy pots is diabolical. It is pure evil. I'm actually I actually just sat up. I can't believe this. It's just because I haven't done it in so long. That's like... Yeah, look how little damage they take. Like...
I need some help with this one. You bet.
But now, the instant we get those buffs up, and that I may have really overplayed that by calling them up so quick, because we might not necessarily have the freest access to EP to do that again. But it just, the buffs make so much of a difference. You'll see what I mean. Now, the problem with the gearless hard start is as soon as you start finding gear, which you will. Hold on. I completely forgot what I was saying. And I was saying something. Yes, the problem with so a lot of the difficulty in a gearless hard start will kind of just fade away as you get gear, and you will get gear. So maybe to maintain the challenge here, we can... what are you doing back here? So to maintain the challenge, maybe we'll use no damage boosting gear.
Okay.
Because that's like other gear is barely even at this level. It is worth putting on. Okay, but it depends on what it does. Like I wouldn't even waste my time putting that on. Now this, the power spike you will get instantly just putting that on is crazy. I don't know how to like. I don't know like. Well, I'll just show you. Just with this, just one piece of add damage gear. Let's see how much of a difference it makes. It might literally change a full breakpoint. But just like, I think we had to like 3-shot enemies earlier. Now we may just 2-shot them. We may still have to 3-shot them, but I don't know exactly. But you will notice a definite difference in the chunks that come off. And we're not really using polarized beam because I just haven't had the skill points to really invest much in it.
Sorry about that. This one's too strong. I need help.
Sugar, maybe you ought to rethink this.
You can see how much we need to pound at these guys and make them go away. And it just gives them time to put damage in.
Nice try, punk. I need more energy for that.
But the difference that gear will make when you start stacking it up is just crazy. The thing is, as I say, but then it's like, okay, so you have something like this. Like this conditionally is pretty useful. You take mental damage, you take 20% less. Cool. I'm happy to wear that. You know, but it's like there is also gear like that starts to give you like big stat bonuses. So it's like you could have gear that gives you like, I don't know, plus 40 focus or something. Uh-oh.
Sugar, maybe you ought to rethink this.
For the time being, Rogue is going to be our best damage dealer because she gets the melee damage buff from Gambit.
Greetings. Several pocket talking right now.
This game is so much easier with 4 people though, but maybe because this is a Valentine's Day stream. Alright. Here's the rule. Here's where the challenge will come in. Because this is a Valentine's Day stream, because these are, you know, the characters that are all like in a thing with each other, then we can't let them die. Now, I do have an alternate that can res. So I would say if we can immediately res, it doesn't count. They didn't really die. In fact, that's almost romantic, right? But if we can't res them, if they're gone, we can't res them in town. You know, we have to... Everyone is going to get depressed and not want to, you know, do anything because they just watched their partner die, you know?
Sabertooth has just
It's crazy that they actually got. I think they got Patrick Stewart for this. Yeah, they did. It had to. It has to be. It has to be some promotional consideration, right? Where it's like, that's how it feels to me. I don't know, but maybe because voice work is really easy to do. Although I was gonna say like it can all be handled online, but I don't know if it really could be back in these days. Like, so as soon as we have the damage buff from Gambit on us, we can start really smacking things. But so one of the reasons why I thought, like, well, I know for a fact it would have been way easier to do this with Jean as a melee character is if you use Jean's Psionic Fury ability, it's a second one of these like non-physical damage buffs, and the way the two things interact is like really busted. And then suddenly I'll just have basically Rogue, or even Gambit with his Staff Assault, because it benefits from both, can pretty much just like, you know, solo smash through everything. But we're not just going to play Rogue, we're gonna have to like, you know, mix this up a little bit. And you can see why I say this ability is just kind of like very bread and butter. It can kind of just do everything for you. When you're building Gambit like solo and you don't necessarily worry too much about having all the team buffs and so on, or you know, you probably wouldn't use this ability. You'd prefer to have something that's more specialized. Also, this ability is kind of dangerous, especially as a solo, because it locks you into this animation. Oh yeah, we also don't get the benefit of like tech stations or anything like that from the first playthrough, so, you know, no tech stations, no bought skill points, which I think you can buy like 4 skill points for every character. So no bought skill points, no earned skill points, like from the Danger Room, which there's about 6 or 7 or no, 5 or 6 at least of them that you can earn.
I need some help with this one. Got it.
Hold on, this is so slow. Getting stuck in the group. That wasn't too bad. Wow, the Prince of Thieves is still up. It's nice when it lasts a good long time.
Say, let me create. It's no trouble. Sure.
So one thing I will say is the guy who made the tier list that I was kind of like ranting about. Not the guy. The guy's fine, and I know why he made it the way he made it. But as I say, it's just like it's wrong. I'm sorry. Like, anyway, I'm not gonna go back onto that rant. But he said Gambit is the best character in the game, which is like, Gambit is a really good character. You can either build him as like a caster, in which case he'll be quite similar to Magneto. So Magneto has this ability where he essentially kind of throws out like a fan of bombs, and Gambit has two very, very similar abilities. They're very good because the damage of the bombs scales with obviously ability damage and everything else, but the number of bombs increases as well. So you get this massive, huge multiplicative gain from like everything, where it's like if I have a piece of equipment, if I have a 60 bonus damage from my equipment, but I'm throwing 3 bombs, and each of those bombs gets that damage, well then actually I'm getting 180 bonus damage from my equipment. And you know, if each of that bonus damage is then getting 100%, is getting multiplied by 1% per point of focus I have. So maybe I have 100 focus. There's another, so that's, you know, so it's another 60. It's actually 120, and the 120 is being tripled. So what looked like 60 damage added to my total is actually like 300 damage. And this is what I'm saying, like things in this game, like they rapidly get out of control because there's so many of these little like multiplicative increases. But that's why those abilities are so strong. And Gambit has 2 of them. They're really good. And you can easily build both because one does radiation damage, but it's over like 3 seconds. So it's not like, you know, it's not like a DOT debuff. It will kill most things in that 3-second period. But then the other just does like flat energy damage. And I don't want to miss the homing beacon here. I've done that so many times. I am tired of it. But yeah, so you get some like tremendous benefits from things like that. But you can also build Gambit as, like, he has abilities that massively increase his speed. So you can build into those where you give him you know, something like a Staff Slam or something, or just a really fast ability, and then just massively buff the speed of it, and it will tremendously derp with his EP economy, but there's ways to kind of get around that. But anyway, you can build him around speed, and speed is one of those things where it's like, speed is a much easier way to hit certain breakpoints. It's much easier to okay, let me put it this way. Let's say I have an ability that takes 2 seconds to use, and I need to use it twice to kill the enemy. And I need to get all these, I need to tick all these boxes and make all these investments to get it to the point where it can one-shot. And realistically, for most of my gameplay, it's not going to one-shot, okay? So either I can invest all this stuff in trying to get it to one-shot, or I can basically invest nothing in it, and now I can invest something in another skill that will allow it to two-shot 40% faster. So often what happens is when you have speed-based skills is that you just get a kind of guaranteed return on your investment. Like if it says you do everything 12% faster, you actually do reduce your time to kill by a legitimate 12%. And you might look at some other abilities and think, oh, you know, well, I increase the damage this does by far more than 12%. Why doesn't it give me as much gain? And it's because, yes, you may have increased the damage by more than 12%, but it doesn't necessarily mean it met a breakpoint. So that 12% might not make the difference between, like, let's say you're having to use it 3 times now to get a kill, or that, let's just say your time to kill with this investment is 3 seconds. It might not reduce it at all. It might just literally remain 3 seconds. You know, you might just still be using that ability the same number of times. So that's why speed is so tremendous. But also, you know, speed is like, it truly is. It's another one of those multiplicative increases where it's like every scrap of bonus damage I have squeezed out of my build is now being multiplied by, you know, if my speed boost is like, I don't know, 12%, then it's multiplied by 12%. Like,
Get this joke before he gets me.
You bet.
I forgot to recast that. You really need to keep that up if you're using the... Staff Slam. And I should be using more extremes. I have so many tokens just sitting around.
Affirmative.
I like Scott's Extreme the best.
Everyone form up on me.
Got it.
This one's too strong. I need help.
Sure thing.
Yes.
Hate these guys. This should be good here. In fact, I might even use a couple. I know there's usually a boss pack in there. Get out of here.
Sure thing. Every type is pretty down.
But you see what I mean? Like, this is as hard as I can make the game. You know, short of letting the AI do make my builds and everything. But this is as hard as I can make the game for a 4-player team, and it's not particularly hard. Like, I'm not worried about dying. But as I say, the test here is that, well, if I do lose someone, I need to have an extreme token left to res them. All right, so here's the rule. Because I'm just thinking, there's no way I'll lose if that's the case. Because I'll just always keep one spare. But okay, here's the rule. I don't want to say if I lose one person, because I can't control what the AI does, and sometimes they just go and get themselves killed, and there's nothing you can do about that. So I'll say if one of the AI goes and gets themselves killed, I can res that. If I can't res it, then, you know, end of run. However, if I die, if the character I'm controlling dies, end of run. No res.
Next time, sure. Come on now. Stick together. Will do. Will do.
Now, the logic of that would be saying that, okay, well, that means I have to play Phoenix, and if Phoenix dies, because she's the one who can res people, then no one can get resed. I don't want to play Phoenix, she's really bad. I mean, if I play Phoenix, no one will die anyway, because I'll be constantly smashing everything with this debuff. But I suppose, I mean, I can play Phoenix. You're just very much backliney with just debuffing everything, setting this turret up. And then you just kind of dive out and let your team do the business. But it's pretty fun. I do like that there are all these little playstyles where it's like, oh, okay, this Phoenix build, if this was solo, I would be saying not a single nice word about this. I would be ranting and molding about how worthless it is. But because it's in a team, I'm like, oh yeah, I can totally see the value I'm getting. Like, I'm just everything that has that like red twinkle above it is doing like 40% less damage than it should. And this turret does good damage, and it never misses. It just pokes stuff down really nicely. It's like this turret is doing about as much damage per shot as Cyclops' optic beams.
Stick together, people.
Yes.
Wait, I keep pressing the wrong buttons. Ah, that's what we want. And I can do like not completely non-existent damage in melee if I just want to like punch something that I know it can't hurt me. Let's get out. Turret down.
Sorry about that.
Well, I say I don't do completely. I kind of do, but if I have an item or two, that will change. The thing is, the gear that we're getting is like, oh my gosh, that is such a goated piece of equipment. Like the 10 all res, absolute chef's kiss. But we're not really supposed to be using damage gear, are we? So I guess... I mean, look, if I can wear the gear right now, I will. But as soon as I, like, even like here, like, because I can just put that normal piece of gear on, I'll put that on instead. But now, if I'm actually going to have to take this a little bit seriously, then I want all my gear slots filled. Her damage, like her punch damage is so low she can't even break a barrel. Which, like, the barrels don't scale for difficulty. Like, I think Jean starts with like 8 strike or something. It's the lowest in the game. Like her and Storm, I think, start with like 8. And obviously I used both strike and speed as a dump stat on her. Strike and speed as dump stats on Cyclops. Speed as a dump stat on Rogue. Speed as a dump stat on Gambit, and also strike as a dump stat on Gambit. But Gambit just gets a kind of... This is actually one of Gambit's weaknesses, by the way. Gambit just kind of gets a relatively even distribution of points in stuff. It's like everyone gets passive point gains when they level, and depending on the game, like what sort of, you know... So like, for example, Jean just gets nothing in strike. Her strike will never passively go up. You have to pump it yourself. Heroes that have speed that never passively goes up are kind of stronger by definition. And kind of like casters that don't get like passive gains in, you know, strike or speed are gonna have a pretty good time. But the truth is, most of them get something.
Yes.
Even, and that's just the fact that Cyclops has like 27 strike.
Got it.
He hits the break point on the boxes. But But yeah, I'm gonna loot because equipment, you know, kind of matters.
Well, ain't this a pleasant surprise?
Grizzly. This isn't.
What?
I would never. I'm sorry.
Well,
Oh, that was fun.
Watch out for the targeting beam.
That's right, I'm supposed to be playing Phoenix. The thing is, I'm not breaking. I'm gonna switch to someone else because I don't want to tap the 2-shot barrels. Not for the rest of the game. Can't make me do that. It's not humane. Like, I'll play her, sure, but one, I refuse to enjoy it, and two, I'm switching to someone else to break boxes. Because she's basically a spectator, which I guess is thematic, because I kind of want to show you how easy this game is when you play it with 4 characters. That you genuinely can just kind of walk around with like a really suboptimal build and just kind of buff stuff and let your team kill it. And for the most part, they stay pretty safe and they use very few resources.
Okay.
And then, of course, because you have a full team, you can get all these bonus objectives. You know, you'll always get your double EXP from the homing beacons.
Stay down. You bet.
It's kind of hard to like think of stuff to talk about because, like I say, the gameplay is there's not much to do. Like, it's just amazing how little damage you take and how little damage you have to do when there's 3 other people here. But I guess this kind of proves my point. Because I would say every character on this team...
sure.
I don't know, I was going to say every character was suboptimal, but... No, Gambit's probably A tier.
Phoenix Force. Stay down.
I don't know why I used her ult. I should have used Rogue's. But yeah. It's just so radically different when there's 4 of you. You know, it's very easy to sit and talk about, you know, oh well, you do 400% less damage, you take a quarter of the damage. When you actually genuinely experience the difference those numbers make to your gameplay. But the other thing is also, you eat a quarter of the CC. Also, you can hit combos, which you can't do solo, obviously. But the main thing with combos is that they give EXP, which is it's nice, but it's... I mean, they do more damage, but the gains are usually fairly trivial. I can't, like, I'm physically stuck in a corner and I can't, like, access it because I keep charging into this, like, oh, that was so gross. And you see why these things are so tanky, because they don't take the bonus mental damage that everyone gets from having focus. So, anything I can actually equip, anything I can use. That will be nice when we can, but for now. Well, at least most of us have, you know.
Affirmative.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure thing.
Yes.
But yeah, there are definitely some decisions in this game that, like, I don't know, it makes me feel like the game was made a little bit lazily compared to the second one. So you'd have something like, and like those flying robot enemies, for example, who can just for fairly long periods be kind of just uninteractable. Save for like precise ranged attacks like Cyclops' Optic Blast, and then give them a shield that makes them completely invincible unless you hit them with a melee combo that requires them to land and then, you know, like, and stay, you know, in one place for, you know, like the amount of time. Like that, I feel like that's just like someone just copy pasted that and it was never like properly play tested or anything, because you'd play test that and you'd just be like, what's the point? Like, it's like the enemies are supposed to be kind of evasive and then sneak up on you from behind, but you know, you would typically reward a player for you know, seeing that and seeing like, oh, okay, this thing kind of doesn't want to engage me. I guess I shouldn't just ignore it. I should try to deal with it. You know, typically, you would reward a player for making that decision, but what you're essentially doing is like saying that like their decision, like the right decision, is now not a decision they can actually perform, because it's like, well, yeah, you can, but now you just have to like wait for it to land, which could take like a minute or something. I don't think that's really respecting the player. And we're just kind of the general. As you can see, the debuff that Jean applies, one of the reasons I do actually quite like it and value it quite highly, is it's not like one of those things where it's like, well, it just works on regular crap and nothing you actually want to debuff gets debuffed. No, it works on pretty much everything. And it's really significant. It's 40%. It's like... So I'm just kind of like expressing my management potential here by just putting up my turret and letting it DPS while I just occasionally debuff and yell at my team to attack him, which they do pretty dutifully, and they really kind of pound him down. Man, it's really fun when you just kind of play like that. You're just like, alright, well, I'm the general, I'm the captain, I'm too important to get my hands dirty. but it's slow. I swear the time to kill with this party having no equipment is slower in some fights than it is when I play through solo. Even on some of, like, you know, not even the most OP characters or anything, but like... Like, I swear I just had a generally better time to kill solo as Colossus. Partly because Colossus is really strong, but also because he had gear. Like... But we will get gear, and it will help us. It's just not going to, like, you know... Like, this sort of damage, this sort of time to kill is not really going to improve a whole lot. But our survivability, our utility, and potentially damage as well if we get gear like, you know, plus focus or plus strike or something like that. And you can get gear with, like, multiple stats. So, you know, it's not that bad if you have to put gear that doesn't give you direct damage. Pardon me, just having a sip of water there. And yeah, we know these tunnels can get pretty rough. But it's just different when you have a team.
Sure.
And I'm just really... I should be using Prince of Thieves pretty much permanently.
Okay. You bet.
I'm just being a little bit too lazy to keep kind of hot swapping to Gambit. So once again, we are, you know, we are Caesar. We just kind of sit on a hill and debuff everything and let our turret do the work, let our minions do the work. Having to two-shot boxes is so humiliating. Alright, let's try to get this nice and central.
You bet.
You get debuffed. You get debuffed. Everybody gets debuffed. And... ooh, rare item. See, most of the dopamine that you will get playing this game as a 4-stack will just be in, like, finding equipment. So what do we got here? I can't use this, it's too good. That's kind of more along the lines of being bad enough to use. Although 19 damage reduction is actually, like, pretty decent.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, we did this one gearless hard start, which, you know, it's not that big a deal when you have 4 people, but it's as hard as I can make the game when I have 4 people. And, you know, it's a Valentine's Day stream, isn't it? So we have to do the double date team.
Let's keep moving.
And my rule is that, you know, I can't let anyone die, basically. I can, I kind of have to play Jean to prevent Jean from dying, because as long as I'm playing Jean and Jean is alive, if one of my, like, AI minions dies, then I can res them. But if I can't res them, then, or if Jean herself dies, then that's the end of it. So I am a little bit nervous about, like, switching to other heroes.
You needn't ask for
Partly because Jean's debuffing is really good. and I can kind of just let my team like
Will do.
bash their way through all this nicely and safely. It's a bit slow, but they get it done.
Affirmative.
That's the power of love, I suppose. It is a curious thing.
You needn't ask for John. You bet. Sweet dreams.
That's a little bit scary. She got yeeted. I approve. Oh, okay. My heavy attacks can one-shot the boxes. That's great. We know how to hit the one-shot breakpoint on boxes with Phoenix. It's fantastic. Also, a nice thing about being high level is you can fly basically forever because you just have like hundreds of focus points and lots of energy regen. Drink an energy pot, you goofball. What are you doing?
Okay.
Yes. Sure.
Okay.
Okay. I really don't like her voice. I think they did some of the voices in this game I would say are better than the voices in Rivals, but some of them are worse. Like Jean is way better in Rivals, and it's one of those funny things. Like I kind of find Jean's voice in Rivals it's just like a tiny bit annoying in a sort of smug way, if that makes sense. I don't know exactly how to explain it. It's a tiny bit annoying, but I feel like that that's intentional. Like there's the person doing it kind of knows they're doing it, and also kind of knows they're going to get away with it, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't. It probably only makes sense to me. But that's how I rationalize it in my head. And yeah, so I quite like it. I think the voice works really good. But like I think Rogue is way better in this game. I think Storm is kind of a wash. People always kind of voice Storm in like basically the same way.
I guess y'all lose.
Which I guess it makes sense for the character, where she's always like super kind of like regal and formal and arch, I suppose you might say, like.
Keep close.
Will do.
Who else is there that's in both games? I'm trying to think. Magneto. I think Magneto in this game, the voice work is really good. I also really like Magneto in Rivals, but I don't know. It's like in Rivals, I really like it, but I'm very, very much aware that it's Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Clone Wars. So, yeah. It's like, I like it because I like that character in the Clone Wars, and I think he's really well voiced.
Keep close. Sure thing.
But in this game, I think he sounds more like Magneto. Man, you miss hearing that combo! When you play too much solo, I forget that it's even a freaking mechanic.
I'm too low on power. I don't have enough power for that. Sure thing.
Oh, I see what's going on. Okay, so Rogue is trying to repeatedly cast Southern Shout. I might switch her to Torpedo Strike. All right, let's see how that works. She should still use Southern Shout. They typically do just kind of cast debuffs a little bit like willy-nilly, but because it has such a long duration, it's usually going to get cast at least once within its duration, or even if you have to switch to her and do it manually, it's not
Sure thing.
a huge problem.
Yes. Sure thing. Sure thing.
Mental resistance. Probably should have given that to Rogue. But since Jean is the one who's like not legally allowed to die,
You're out.
we for Gambit's voice actor, I think they're both pretty good. I like both. I couldn't say one's better or one's worse. Pardon me, just having some water. Damn, we're getting really low on energy.
Sure thing. Yes. Got it. Sugar, maybe you ought to rethink
Now I
this.
have some real power.
This and then we just slowly work on boosting up that.
Got it. Okay. Is that I'm liking this?
Will do. Yes.
Stick together, people.
Affirmative.
Yeah, I need to remember to keep Mental Vortex up so I can just keep ordering my team to spam and they won't run out. But we are coming up on our first boss fight, so let's grab some potions.
Greetings again, my
Let's sell the equipment that we're not going to be using, which is basically the good equipment.
Do you have any questions?
Not yet. That's better than that. Use that yet. Use that at all. It'll be great when we can use it, but we can't. Likewise.
I think you'll find my prices to be most reasonable.
one again is just too good, so we got to get rid of it. I can probably already buy quite a lot of bonus skill points and stuff, just because early on they're not that expensive.
These items are some of my finest.
You know what? That's great. I'll have that. Yeah, easy. 2 bonus skill points for everyone, and very soon we'll be able to just buy a level up for everyone as well. Very nice. So just go ahead and pop that on, and that's just fine. Someone else took something off, which poor old Gambit, he's got very little. And yeah, lots of skills because of the bought skill points. Very nice. Kind of have to get second level Mai. Have to keep pace with that. And bonus points just go straight into evade. For Phoenix, I think it's really important that we keep getting mental mastery. Likewise, Psionic Boom. So at least we can sort of do okay damage against stuff that doesn't have lots of resistance. And for Cyclops, as soon as we can, we need to start getting points into Polarized Beam so that it can actually be usable.
You bet. That had to hurt.
I am definitely stronger. Sure.
Freaking Cyclops just got his level after I just did all that. Or whatever. We'll just quickly. Yep. And. Yep. All good.
Yes. You bet. Form up on me.
Will do.
You bet. Pleasant dreams, y'all. Sugar, maybe you ought to rethink this.
Yes.
You couldn't have chosen. Yes, it's just
Give me
And it's funny, even though I'm, even though I obviously playing solo is way harder, this is somehow requiring like more brain power.
You got it.
I don't know why. I think it's just because I need to keep buffs up and stuff.
Who's next? Yes. Will do. Yes.
Will do.
Yes.
Okay.
Pardon me. I was just coughing. I might have to go grab some water. I'll be back in just a moment.
Got it.
Pardon me. I should have put my little, starting soon thing up, but it is what it is. I don't claim to be a great streamer. I barely even claim to be a streamer.
Stay down.
Certainly don't claim to be a streamer in the sense that it's my career
Sure thing.
or some serious vocation. It's just one of those funny things where it's like, I don't know. I feel like, for example, with this game, I feel like my knowledge base is good enough that it's worth streaming. That I have something to say about it, and that I can. So it's like, I don't know. I could stream a game like Marvel Rivals, for example, which I do play, and I think I'm decent at it. But I can just 100%. I can tell you. I know for a fact my game knowledge really exceeds my gameplay. And that's kind of a dangerous place to be in a PvP game. But I'm naturally the kind of person who will deep dive into things that I take a real interest in. So there's no I couldn't do anything about that. And for a long time, it did cause me problems because it was I understood how to play the game much better than I could actually play the game. I couldn't implement the things that I knew would work, or that I knew I needed to do to have success in, say, a 1v1 or a team fight or whatever. I just did not have the mechanics or the timing or the game sense of knowing what cooldowns to look out for and to play around and just all that sort of stuff. But I just did not have that awareness. But I understood. I had a fundamental kind of understanding of how the game was played by people who knew how to play it. Because I'd watch people who knew how to play it who, you know, who would kind of explain why they were doing the things that they were doing, which was always really helpful. Or they were just the kind of people that, like, if some, you know, they were very kind of persnickety type people who were like, when they saw someone doing something wrong, they would call it out and explain why it was wrong. So, you know, watching even things like roasts and stuff like that is really useful as far as like developing an understanding of how to play the game, but it doesn't develop your actual like moment-to-moment game sense. It doesn't develop your map awareness. It doesn't develop your you know, ability to kind of like orient things based on sound cues, or it doesn't improve your flicks. It doesn't improve your tracking. It doesn't improve your, you know, basic like pathing mechanics and things like that. So you kind of will get in this frustrating place where it's like you can see in your head what needs to happen for this game to be won, but you haven't got a clue about how to, as a solo player, how to even make sure it happens. And you know that if you tried, you would just get absolutely dumped on. But eventually you grow into the knowledge to some extent. I'm not saying, you know,
Yes.
like, I know for a fact my game knowledge still massively exceeds the quality of my gameplay. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't, like, what I do think that, like, I have opinions that are worth having on that game, but I know for a fact that, like, you know, if someone is going to say to me, like, yeah, okay, but why should I listen to you? It's kind of like, well, like, really? You shouldn't? Because, like, most of the opinions that I do have are kind of, like, just based on, you know, it's like things that are commonly understood among people who play the game at a certain level, and you could go to a million other people who would give you comparable opinions, and blah 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 blah. Like, but then those people, you can actually watch them like implement those concepts and do it, you know, pretty seamlessly.
Will do. Don't you not? Sure.
It's crazy to think that
Sure thing.
it's taken me
Help me take this creep down. Sure thing.
yeah, it's taken me almost, like, it's taken over an hour just to get to the second unique boss because we're doing this gear list. My clear speeds are faster on a solo run, but also this is a higher difficulty, so things are tankier.
Quickly, get out of here. You got it.
When time permits.
But my clear times are like way, way, way faster. It's crazy. But also, I am using the lowest damage character on the team because of the rules that have been set, or that I've set for myself.
Got it.
Because this is just a troll stream. If I use good gear that I find, this will be trivial by the end of this act. We'll be one-shotting everything. And there will be zero chance of anyone dying, and if anyone dies, I'll just immediately res them. But also, if I see anything I don't like, I'll just press this, And if I actually have gear, this will just one-shot everything.
This one's too strong. I need help.
Will do.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, I don't even know if I am going to be going further than the end of Act 1, because as I said, this is just like a silly little thing, because I just realized it's Valentine's Day. And also, as I say, I in some respect, I am genuinely trying to demonstrate, like, just how little what you do matters when there are 4 of you. Like, remember, this is the equivalent of nightmare difficulty on, like, Diablo or a game like that, where it's like, we are on our second playthrough, everything in the game is higher level, the damage they do is much higher, they're vastly tankier. You can see this just in the clear time, but am I worried? Are we dying? Are we running out of potions? Are we running out of extreme? We're not even using extremes. Partly because there's not much point. Like, they just don't kill stuff that fast. And, like, yeah, I suppose I can, like, keep this up a lot, but...
Stay down.
Oh, I forgot to actually, break the pylon.
Okay.
But it's like, you know when I say damage solves all your problems? It's like, yes, damage solves all your problems, but when you're playing with 4 characters, you kind of don't have any problems. Because I genuinely can just stand here and let my team, like, pound away at this stuff. You know, I can, like, halve the damage that everyone takes, and then I can just make sure everyone has, I'm going to... Oh, is that the only... Okay, I'm such a goofball.
Sure thing.
Okay, now he should use... He should actually use Staff Assault in combat, but the thing is, I want him to use it when I call, rather than using Energy Fury, because as I said, they will tend to kind of keep their buffs up by themselves. Yeah, so now we can actually have a bit of clear speed. Now I've kind of got a little combo going. The auto-targeting, absolutely
Nice try,
glorious.
Yes.
Yes.
Cyclops! You? It's like, even this, it's like, if I know the mob can't kill my, like the mob that's currently around can't kill my team, I just kind of ignore them, go do the objectives, and we'll come back and we'll kill them later, or you know, bait them into a doorway or something and just blow them up in the choke. Okay. Can use my. Oh, only one of them was in range.
You're not doing so well. Need more power to do that. Sure.
But yeah, I just have to not be lazy, manually cast buffs, and then call for them to use attacks with their buffs. And our clear team, clear time.
Who's next?
Attack my target. Sure thing. Sure thing. You bet. Help me take this creep down.
You X-Men ain't much use in a fight, so X-Men.
Already on.
Well done. If you
Well, oh, indeed correct. Yes, I do. When I'm feeling me, they won't be able to identify you as gentle as
Ain't got the energy for that.
You bet.
So you see with the energy fury attack, now Rogue actually does like big chunks. And this is without damage gear. Like if I have damage gear, like we basically like 3-shot her with the Gambit buff.
Hey, this one's giving me trouble. Okay. Let's keep it together, shall we?
You got it. Sure.
Sure thing.
not seen the last of me.
Oh, I forgot to use Prince of Thieves. But it's like I said, it doesn't matter. Like, I was hyped to use Plunder when I was playing Toad as a kind of spit character, because I knew it was a suboptimal build. I knew I was going to struggle at some point. And I knew the more, you know, the better gear I had, the more damage I had, the safer I would be. Because, you know, ultimately,
Stay near me.
when you're playing solo, you kind of have to kill stuff before it kills you, or before it eats too many of your resources. But when you're not, but when you have like, you know, a bunch of bodies in the fight, all like the damage being spread around, and all of them are kind of doing their own damage, and like none of them are necessarily shredding, but like it's just chips and it's free. You're not having to do it. You're not having to spend your resources, your energy to get rid of, to do as much damage. And things like breakpoints matter way less, because a lot of the stuff you do attack, it's not always going to be at full health, because someone else might have chipped it down a little bit.
Y'all quit just when it was getting fun.
Get out of my way!
What a nice lady. So happy we saved her. I shouldn't even have come down here. To hell with these people. Where I am going to go is up here, because I want the qualifying exam.
Sure thing. That was fun.
Damn, without the burst of Torpedo Strike with Gambit's energy buff, that guy was literally just out healing our damage.
I don't have enough power to do that.
Who's next? I'm getting out of here.
But yeah, this is the only reason to mess around in here. And then we want to go to Sinister's room, grab the EXP, which should be there.
You got it.
That was fun.
Will do.
Greetings, oh gathering. Yeah, no,
Yes.
Can't believe
I can't believe it!
it was going to kill us.
Mr. Sinister's going to kill us!
Sinister's got to be the
There's got to be another. I can't.
Who's next?
Wait, did I miss a homing beacon? I did. Because I didn't do the side objectives. It's fine. It is what it is. I ain't going back.
Will do.
Affirmative.
So where I love to have a turret and teammates is when it's like, I just want to come over here and I just want to do this. I don't care about these guys. But I still want them to die. I just don't want to have to, like,
What are you doing?
waddle about in that room on my own.
Yeah. Let's wrinkle this part. Nah. Well, Affirmative.
Oh yeah, I probably should have shown you the Gambit and Pyro interaction, but it is what it is. There is a playthrough on my channel that includes all that stuff. Just a normal, regular old, non-streaming
I suppose I should thank you for saying. Oh.
playthrough, but it's gonna have pretty bad audio quality because my microphone back then was pretty bad.
Yes.
But
sure thing.
Such is the way of things.
My target's down.
So, well, this is one thing that is nice about Jean's ult, is like, A, you know, this guy's going to run around and beat the crap out of stuff for us. Which is like, he doesn't really do damage, but he does CC stuff, which is nice. But when that expires, I'm fairly certain he dies. Like, he just gets insta-jibbed.
Sure.
Okay, no, apparently he doesn't get insta-jibbed. But, whatever. It takes him out of the fight for ages. Which is pretty handy. Nice.
Give me this one.
Sure.
Okay. Try to remember to come back there when I get to the waypoint.
You really don't want to mess with me. Sure thing.
You got it.
Okay.
You should really have to like pummel through these guys. Let's go back. Sell some items, maybe chuck some in the stash, some of the high level ones. Alas, I cannot use that. Pardon me. That's fine for now.
Greetings again, my friend. Take your time. There's no need to hurry.
We could do the qualifying exam. I guess.
Greetings again, my friend.
Since I had to come back anyway. I wouldn't, you know, normally, but... Since we're here and it's here, we might as well.
You may now begin your course.
You got it.
Okay.
And we
Sure
just
thing.
want to make sure we have our buffs. Oh yeah, something sharp too.
This is going to hurt you a lot more.
And
This one's giving me trouble.
Qualifying exam has been completed.
you see what I mean when I say that, like, the game is, like, as long as you just get buffs, it's a bit trivializing. And now we have bonus skill points, but let's go deal with this. Oh, hold up there, mate. It's your funeral. I'm from Australia, by the way. I know some people, some international people can't tell, like, from my accent, which I find strange, but, you know, it's fine, it is what it is. I can't always tell what country people are from myself, but I am from Australia, by the way. So if my Australian accent sounds cringe to you, I don't know, I guess there's just no hope for me, because I've been exposed to them all my life. Want to make sure we grab these items. See, this is the thing, like, that encounter is tense when you're doing it solo, because a bunch of tyrants come and rush you, and tyrants have the potential to chain CC you and kill you. Especially if, like, 3 of them get you in a corner, you may never leave that corner if it's just you. But when there's 4 of you, it just... You can kind of just ignore them if you don't, like, I don't want to interact with this stuff, it's going to take too long to kill it. And, you know, we're almost at the act boss. This is almost, I'm almost at the point where I can just kind of wrap the stream up.
Sure thing.
Right.
Not that I'm, you know, desperate to get away or anything, but this was a kind of extra late night bonus stream, I suppose, because of Valentine's. Now, again, we're going to use Rogue to DPS the guy. Otherwise, it'll take a year to die.
Yes.
So,
Sure thing.
make sure we have all those lovely laughs. And, wow! Yes, it does. Not being able to play the game for 7 seconds for no reason. Oh my lord, that must have been a crit.
Appreciate the gravity of this situation.
I legitimately just lost all control of my character there for so long. I wasn't even pressing buttons, I just had the left mouse click held down and was trying to, like, walk away from Abyss, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it for like 7 seconds. I think I got, like, hit stunned or something, maybe knocked down, but then also just, like, randomly, like, flailing at the air, like, with auto attacks, which I'm not pressing the button for. Just really weird. But anyway, doesn't matter. That damage was really freaking nice. I think, Rogue has one piece of bonus damage gear, doesn't she? Yeah. Like, this is what I mean when I say it, like, it completely gigabuffs you. And we will take that off at some point. It's just like, I'm not going to have her wear nothing if there's a piece of equipment I can use. When something, quote-unquote, better for the purposes of this game, of this playthrough, comes up, then I'll use it, but it ain't going to happen, because we're just about to finish Act 1. But I may do Act 2 with this duo. Probably not tomorrow, but, you know, it'll get done.
You bet.
And yeah, you can see Rogue claps in pretty nicely.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Let's try to get some of these guys out of here, or at the very least get them on my team.
You bet.
Heal a turret up. Boom, 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 boom. You know, if I had Jean built as a melee character and I just put her buff and Gambit's buff on Rogue, she just kills everything in basically one shot with Torpedo Strike. And this is why I say, like, this, you can't do a tier list in this game for, like, there is no team in this game that is bad. You can take the 4 worst characters in the game, and when you put them on a team, they're suddenly goated. I'm not saying these are the 4 worst characters in the game, but for example, like Scarlet Witch is utterly the worst character in the game as a solo hero, but she's actually one of the best characters to have on a team because she has a damage ability like Phoenix, an ability that essentially gives you EP leech, just like Phoenix. She has another ability, if you prefer, like if you already have Phoenix in your team, for example, then you can build her around a team buff that gives everyone extra damage and extra crit chance, which is super strong. Or you can, and she also has extremely powerful debuffs and extremely powerful radial CC. That is not it's not good enough that like if she's on her own, she can just wade into enemies, debuff them, CC them, and then they die, right? But on a team, you can just wade into enemies, debuff them, CC them, and when there's 4 other people eating the like now it's totally trivial. So, you know, everything, like the things that she can do for her team are super, super strong. And the fact that she like lacks really, really good damage doesn't matter because there's only, like, I think she might legitimately be the only character in the game as I was saying, I think she might legitimately be the only character in the game that, like, you know, that can't do really good damage. Like, can't be buffed, can't be geared up, can't be, you know, like, she just doesn't have any tools. These guys are so tanky. But we got it. But as I was saying, so like, for example, you saw how good Rogue's damage was against Abyss. Like, just absolutely nuked the guy. And I would say Rogue is one of the weaker characters in the game for DPS output. But once again, once you start putting some buffs on her, she goes crazy. Where's the last thing? I kept thinking that was the entranceway. Anyway, once you start putting some buffs on her, she goes nuts. So, you know, as I said, the only hero that can't genuinely be buffed to do really good damage is, I think, Scarlet Witch. And even then, her best damage ability is like a kind of radial 3-tick DOT that also kind of like hit stun stuff. And
Greetings again, my friend.
like, it's a nice ability to use in a team. It's just when you're solo, you don't like the CC isn't good enough that the time it takes to kill is acceptable. If you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, I think I'll overwrite this one. I haven't got a clue what this one is, but it is overwritten. And let's go to Act 2, and then I can wrap this up. And we got a bunch of skill points and stuff that we'll use next time if we come back to this. But I think, as I say, I think that is. I hope that was an interesting showcase of like A, you get to see the double date team up, you know, and I get to talk a little bit about, you know, Gambit and characters that I haven't really played. But B, of just the fact that like you can take a character who in the last stream that I was doing, Rogue, who was genuinely struggling because she just doesn't have the damage, and now I can take her into the hardest content in the game. Like, it's much harder than the stuff that the previous Rogue was doing. The enemies are far tankier. She doesn't have bonus damage from equipment. She should be completely neutered, but she has team buffs, so she just gets it done. And no one is ever in any danger of dying, and if they do, they just get rezzed. Like, so this is what I'm saying. Like, you can't do a tier list of this game when teams are involved, because like everything is broken on a team. As I said, even the weakest character in the game, Scarlet Witch, is a really, really good character to have on a team. You would want, you probably want her on your team. But you want either her, you want Phoenix, or you want Bishop on your team. Guaranteed. You want one of those three. They're the three probably best team buffs in the game because they handle your EP. And that's one advantage you do have as a solo. Because as a solo, I have 25 energy, like if I'm here and I'm solo, then I have 25 EP pots and 26 health pots to use entirely for myself. The health pots doesn't matter because I'm also taking 4 times as much damage. But the EP, depending on how efficient your abilities are, you as a solo, you don't necessarily use more EP to clear, but you have more EP to play with. So that is a big advantage that solo characters have. However, it's completely mitigated by the fact that in team play, you essentially don't spend EP. Because any team comp can be built around someone who essentially makes your abilities free. Anyway, that's enough of my babbling. I'm going to wrap this up here. Almost been 2 hours. I feel like fun little bonus stream. But for now, yeah, I'm going to take off.